Hello, folks. Welcome to Thursday Night Telling Tales. Thank you very much for joining us. We are telling tales, and tonight we're going to be playing Wicked Ones. I feel like I should just insert the word telling tales about 4 more times into the intro as I'm going. Telling tales, telling tales, telling tales. It's gone wrong. I thought I could do it, but I couldn't. We are telling tales. We do atmospheric roleplay on here for you on Twitch, and then we put it on YouTube after the fact. There's loads of great content on YouTube, so go check it all out. All sorts of different series and one-shots and the like. If you haven't seen the previous sessions of this, these are of course up on there, as well as everything else we've done. Tonight, as I said, is Wicked Ones. We do this every other Thursday. There might be something else coming on intermittent Thursdays. That's a close enough word. Soon, but there's nothing going on at the moment. We have, I think it was on yesterday, and it should be on next week. We have Blade Runner running on Wednesdays at the moment, which is run by Matt, which is really cool, which has replaced our long-running series Simbru, all of which is amazing and on YouTube. And we are currently playing One, which I am also running on Mondays. I shouldn't have to think about that. I should know that that's what's on Monday. And there's occasional one-shots as well. I think the next one is to be confirmed. Might be the end of the month. So yeah, keep an eye on media and things down below if you're interested in this stuff. So we have all of our social media links, and we have a Discord which is very active and lots of people on there, so come join us if you fancy. And we also have a Patreon, which we very much appreciate those who support us on. So, time for a bit of Wicked Ones. Wicked Ones is a lovely Dungeon Keeper-esque game where you play the bad guys, messing up the world and making a real horrible, awful time for everyone else here. And yeah, so you keep a dungeon and you go out raiding and do terrible things. I think that's about it really for Wicked Ones. It's quite a simple concept. So why don't we bring on Chris to intro kind of where we're at with the story so far. Hey Chris, how you doing?
Simple concept, fiendishly complex game. This is based on Forged in the Dark, and it's gorgeous, but you really have to get your head literally in the game to play it.
I know. I just hope not too many people who are watching have read the book and gone, why aren't they using 3/4 of the rules?
Kind of are. It's just sometimes we're not.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the little world we're playing in that we generated ourselves. We are the red blood splotch, kind of upper center there. And around us are the other factions. And as of last week, we attempted a siege. Well, not a siege. What's the proper word for it? A pillaging raid on the inn and the Baroness directly to our next one left over. And this place is basically a kind of fortified inn / highway keep / ye olde motorway service station in the middle of a kind of fairly dense forest. It is a fortification, and we were attempting to raid it, and we were building. We had a cunning plan. We were going to do effectively, I believe the kids call it a false flag operation, where we were going to march up there bedecked in the colours and livery of Riverton and try and sow some political dissent, which was a little bit tricky because it kind of strains exactly what a pillaging raid is and exactly how that's supposed to work within the game systems. But we ran with it, and after a little bit of toing and froing, we basically had like 3 or 4 zombie guards dressed up in quite accurate Riverton library. The one member of our party who could actually speak the light tongue was kind of doing the talking, and then everyone else, we had a rock golem friend who was doing us literally doing us a solid. We had my rambunctious kobold friends ran
got
in
them
and
little
had some fun.
tabards. Oh, it was so cute. They made their own little tabards.
It was craft hour. It was so adorable in my head. And that's where we got to. The raid was slightly less chaotic than our previous raid on the shitty wizards, as you can see over there on the upper right side of the map.
Who used to be a 3 and are now a 2 tier because of that raid.
Yeah, God, they're so bad. So basically, things proceeded, and fortune permitted us that the Baroness's daughter was present and in the wrong place at the wrong time. And we basically managed to execute a kidnap and a little bit of light looting on the side. But the main prize is now in our care.
Indeed.
You find us today.
Yeah, we ended up more or less on the end of the raid there. While I'm on that subject, just so it reminds me, mild content warnings. Character kept in captivity, probably not having a good time, unpleasant stuff. Obviously, we're not going to do anything awful or sexual or unnecessarily horrific, but I just wanted to state that out there, that she's probably not going to be very happy because these are wicked, awful creatures that have put her in captivity. Although we definitely go more for the cartoonish evil sort of feel in this game, I feel. And why don't you do a wee introduction to Beepo while we're at it as well, Chris?
Yeah, don't know what you're talking about. Beepo's lovely. Just a couple of incantations short of a full kobold.
I'd like to ask how many people we've had like collapse with their eyes rolling back in the head from Beepo's.
Yeah, Beepo is about 50% adorable mascot, 50% unspeakable horror mage from the 11th dimension. And really depends. It's kind of a coin flip as to which one you're going to get.
And is a tiny, adorable kobold, which is and with the magical stick. Oh, and now an invisibility cloak, which is utter chaos. We just suddenly got a Chris lag on that moment. If that was me, there we go. He's back. So next, Sam. We're bringing on Sam next. Hey, Sam.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. Excited to figure out what the hell we're doing.
Gosh, I know. I think all of us are. So, when you give us a wee intro to Osric.
So Osric is a demon warlock, interested in mystical stuff, particularly necromancy. He now has a little bit of an ability to do enchantment, which is kind of like mind-bending stuff more than anything. But yeah, I mean, he thinks he's better than he is. He wants to be better than he is, but it's really struggling to get there. And he's always up for a bit of it. When all you've got is necromancy, everything looks like a graveyard, basically.
It's true. The whole world is a graveyard, and all the corpses. I'm not quite sure where this is going. Yeah, cool. Thank you. That's Osric. Let's bring on John finally. Hey, John.
Hello.
How is Slee, and who is Slee?
Slee is a Slisek shadow, so a sneaky, roguish snake person. Slee is doing quite all right, I think. I think they had a lot of fun in the raid. It wasn't the most useful for them. Like, they didn't get a lot out of it, but they had fun and they started a lot of fires. So,
what more could you ask for? I think you got some loot. Did you? Was it you who got some loot?
Did I?
No, it was Osric and Beepo who got loot. Never mind. But fun. Yeah. And what
do you have a note, one treasure, but I can't remember if this was this raid or the one before.
I think I've tried to be pretty good at noting down, so I don't think you have treasure from that one.
Yeah.
Beepo got an interesting religious book too.
No, I'll just have my arsony to keep me happy.
It's not looking good for that forest on the way back home. Cool. Oh yeah, that's that. Okay. So let's go to. Oh, that's right. No Steve tonight, sadly. We will be out a Terrace for this one. XP. We did not do XP at the end of last session, so I need to remember to do it now, because otherwise we'll forget, because it's supposed to be the end of every session, and we'll totally not do it otherwise ever. And I don't even have the book open. That's how prepared I am, folks. It's just not even there. But I know there's three kinds of
even need the book.
Yeah, well, I know the first one is have you achieved like goals that further you on your nefarious aims of. Wait, let me find your master plan because it's adorable. The valley is a source of liquid blight and death, brackets, lemmings, and alcohol. Go on, John, what are you going to say?
I was going to say, if you wanted to help out, it's written on all of our character sheets. So we could let you suffer. Or we could help.
It's up to you whether you would like me suffering or not. I'll leave it open. Yeah, do you feel like you you moved further on your. I mean, I think it's a pretty easy shoehorn that you did, right?
Yeah, I think we did. It's kind of destabilizing stuff. It's seems helpful to us.
I mean, even if you don't succeed, you've gained. Other people have lost, and you made a mess. That all seems to, yeah. You can all take an XP for that. That's fine by me. The next one was the specific questions we have to answer, which I'm going to just get to now. If you'd like to help me out, you're allowed to now.
I'm allowed to. But...
God damn! Why must they be wicked in out of character as well?
All right. First one is you jumped into someone else's dungeon scene.
Well, we didn't have any dungeon scenes, so that skipped over. I think it was all raid last session. Am I right in thinking that? I think it was.
Yeah? Yeah, okay. 3, you acted like a monster.
Think of examples from the last session.
I repeatedly drowned guards so I could steal their clothes and corpses.
That was super monstrous as well. Like, that was like the worst possible murder, and you just kept doing it. Oh,
yeah, they kept falling for it.
Super monstrous. Absolutely. Get that XP.
I actually feel like Beeper was all business and no pleasure last session. I don't really think there was no kind of erupting through a latrine and shredding anyone to pieces.
Yeah, I think Osric was the same. Mostly just stuff in service, like bad stuff, but nothing like especially monstrous, I don't think.
Yeah, it has to be monstrous for the sake of monstrous. You know, you feel like Slee could have killed those guards in any way, but it had to be like drowning them individually and dragging them off. That sort of monstrous, you know. Okay, just Slee then. That sounds good. And I still haven't found that section. So the next question is:
you utilized your gear or supply in creative ways.
Oh, the really hard one.
Yeah.
You see, I'm requesting that despite the fact that it fails, I think it was very good that I brought some of that enchanted dehumidifying fire with me in an attempt to keep with it.
You did. That was actually really fun. I remember having a good laugh out of that one. So that's a good XP point there. I like that. Oh yeah, that was the beginning of last session. The fire, the flood. Oh, that was such a mess.
Is it all dry now, or is it still only the library?
Yeah, no, the flood's gone.
Right.
That's fine. The flood went down again. It was just you had to protect it during that period, and the library was the big danger. I mean, maybe you want to think about drainage solutions, I suppose, but it was a one-off event. I'm not really thinking it's your dungeon is in danger of flooding, unless I roll that, I suppose.
Drainage solutions are the most boring part of dungeon architecture.
I mean, do you really, as you know?
Let's have 3 sessions of building gutters.
Maybe if we just build another bottomless hole, then this one will work. I don't know.
Surround the whole place with bottomless holes.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Yeah, I can't think of anything for Slee.
No worries. And then it's just reckless, I think, right?
Playing up, going feral, or being bloodied, which I don't think anyone hits.
Did? No, I don't think anyone was injured last time.
Nope.
Cool. Okay. Nice and easy. Is anyone getting close to new skills yet? Ooh, exciting.
I've just hit one. I've just hit one right now, and I'm trying to remember exactly how I spent the points. But
well, let us know if you figure it out. Exciting. It's quite the skills is quite cool when you get them. So, okay, so we more or less skip back the journey back. I mean, you're not supposed to have in this game anyway. So, suffice to say, when you've got this young woman captive under like effectively your direct supervision, she ain't going anywhere. She doesn't really resist whimpering the whole way because it's pretty terrifying being captured by literal monsters. Although I think perhaps the kobolds and their tabards slightly allay her fear because they're just a little bit adorable.
Can we blindfold her? I feel like showing her the exact way to our dungeon is
that's very fair. That's very fair. I will absolutely not note that she knows the way to your dungeon anymore. Cool. Now, as previously discussed, and we've had a bit of discussion about this backstage, the group do not have a prison. And the purpose of a prison is to keep captives. So without a prison, there is obviously a risk of her escaping. Now, I'm not going to run it like it's impossible to have her kept captive, but there is a potential chance that she will just go missing in the, like, is it called the lurking phase? Yeah, the downtime phase, the lurking phase, when stuff is happening, which is meant to be kind of weeks of time, basically, because you're not keeping an eye on it the whole time. So we'll see. I'll make a dice roll for that later on and see how that goes. But before we get to that, it is time for some blowback. So, yeah, that's how it goes. Blowback is the immediate thing, and then you get your rewards during lurking. That's right, isn't it? So, blowback is a consequence your dungeon stuff has caused. No. Yes, caused by not following your plan close enough. Yes, I'm in the right place. Sorry. It can be something that is immediately accepted and resolved, or you can jump into a scene to try and deal with the fallout. So I am going to debate how the raid went with you. Do you think it went pretty perfectly, the trick and everything? Or do you think it went all right? Or do you think it went pretty terrible?
We had some real good moments where stuff came together well. Like there were kind of, didn't we do something quite clever with the door to make it look just enough like it had been sabotaged?
You wanted to do something quite clever with the door and fail. So it's not a perfect
I did manage
example.
to plant evidence.
You did plant evidence of someone having attempted to do something clever with the door.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is almost the same as having done something for framing purposes.
I definitely remember multiple things not going quite how you planned it. So I think for me, it's difficult to argue it was a perfect raid.
I don't know. Like, I feel like individual roles didn't go to plan, but the overall plan of attack the inn and convince them that they're being attacked by Rivertown and take some loot was successful.
I mean, the point is you don't know how convinced they are. You know how convincing you tried to be. I would make the argument that I don't think it went sufficiently flawlessly that I think it's easy to make the case that you perfectly persuaded them of this without, Go on, what are you going to say, Sam?
It's hard to remember because it was a couple of weeks ago, but I can't think of anything that happened that would have put them onto us as the people who were responsible. Like, I don't think anything happened where it was like, I don't know. I just can't think of anything that happened that kind of would have made people see through the trick of what we were trying to do.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I can't. It's possible something did happen. I just can't remember it, but that's my recollection at least.
It kind of seems like, go on, go ahead.
As I specifically recall last week, like all the zombies died honorably fighting for their cause. So it's not like the undead have been fingered in this either. So while maybe we haven't exactly made it perfectly clear that Riverton were responsible, I don't think we've left any solid evidence that we were responsible either.
No,
so
I agree.
I think
I agree with that. Okay, well, I think it's a 2 dice. I think it's in the middle, personally. If you think I'm being too mean, let me know. But otherwise, I will roll the dice. We'll see how
I
much.
believe in you.
I got a 6.
Oh, yes.
A success. Each PC gets a dark card. That's what that means.
Nice.
Congratulations. Now, that's very good for you because there is a very bad, scary clock that is 5 of 6 that would have been ticked by this and would have probably been terrible for you had you had any blowback from that at all, because it would have kind of combined with other things.
All we have to do is never make another mistake ever again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure by this point you might have a guess of what do we think this clock might be, folks. Just for the fun of it. I'm not gonna reveal anything. Just a nice little.
I think we all decided we didn't want to know because the spirit of the game is that the players are permitted to know everything. So we could know, but we've all decided that mystery is the spice of life. So This one is
To be fair,
secret.
if you've been snooping in the Discord, you probably could have picked it up, because I think the patrons have had a chance to look at these things too. But I think you've all been good players and haven't been snooping.
That's a point, by the way, which is a thing that I don't think you ever really mention on stream.
That is
But our
true.
patrons do get to vote and like sway events of the world around us.
Yeah, they get 3 things the patrons can do. So they can suggest certain clocks, which basically all of the factions in the world have clocks of the things they're trying to do. And there's other clocks too, but mainly those ones are the ones patrons are part of, where they could be like, oh, this is a cool one, let's have that one, have a few extra ticks. When a clock runs out, I take patron suggestions for what new objectives they might have. Obviously, I might not choose those, but if it's a good one, there's definitely a chance it'll go in there. And the third one is, which doesn't happen very often, but when a faction gets replaced, I'm up for suggestions, or if a faction were to get wiped out, I'd take a suggestion from patrons about who could replace them. Yeah, but you've all been good and you don't know what it is. I just want to hear what you think it might be, but we don't have to have this conversation.
I'm going to guess it's some kind of a power coming to get rid of those annoying weirdos that live in the ruin.
Yeah, I would guess Riverton. Like, we're pretty close to Riverton. They're very powerful. Maybe they've just had enough of us.
Yeah, that seems like a fair guess. Wouldn't it be really funny if it was like the Great Underground Worm is, ascending or something totally unexpected?
We've just been making too much noise, literally.
Cool. Okay, so you have not had a blowback this round. Let me just double check. And I think that's everything. Yeah,
I think that's downtime then.
Straight to lurking.
King the
So
Dark
this is-
Heart is a bit of a double-edged sword. Because now-
Well, the Dark Art's only about. Oh yeah, before you've done your lurking, that's true.
Yeah.
It can be bad because you're gonna. Yeah, good point. I think it's quite harsh the lurking, overdoing it thing, which we'll find out right now. So lurking process. PCs go through recovery, healing up, and resetting all abilities. And players make a loot roll, counting the loot from the last raid. So I have it down that Osric and Beepo both gained 2 treasure on that raid. So you can make a 2 dice loot roll each.
Let's go.
And wait, no, there's more things. I forgot about this. Loot rolls are not the same as treasure. Treasure affects loot rolls. We keep making this mistake. Does it have it in the thingy? Because everyone gets a loot roll. Equal the amount of loot in the last raid. Doesn't have any more details in the thing. I'm going to find the loot rolls in the book. Stupid.
Rolls
It'll be like
on
20.
256.
Thank you. Oh, it's very speedy.
Loot is tracked by the GM throughout the raid. Start at 0 dice and add dice as follows. Take. Is this per person or for the group?
Each individual will have a different one, but some of it is for all of you. So +1 dice for a target. For a target belonging to a faction at least equal to your dungeon tier. So +1 and then +1. So each of you get 2 because this is a higher tier than the dungeon. And then Beepo and Osric both have 2 additional dice for the good loot they grabbed.
So 4 dice in total then, yeah?
Yep.
Nice.
4 dice and what? No, I'm already.
4 dice for Beepo and Osric, 2 dice for you, Slee.
Okay.
I got
Full on
3
mixed for me, I'm
sixes.
afraid.
3 6s.
What? Wait a minute.
Okay, so that's definitely a powerful item. And I'll tell you what, 2 6s is a powerful item of GM's choice. 3 6s, I'm willing to let you choose.
Oh,
And you
I
can
got
go in the book and choose a powerful item. I think it's a powerful item in the book.
yeah. I have a look.
I think it gives you suggestions. So I'm happy to, if you want to go like, oh, can we have this like this sort of thing? Some modifications. Chris, what did you get? Sorry.
I had rolled 4 dice and got a full-on mixed. No major successes.
Ouch. Well, you get a gold.
That's fine.
What did you get, Slee?
I also got a mixed, so I'll get a gold.
1 gold for you as well.
I
Well, at least
have 3 out of 3 golds. So what does that mean now? Or shall I look it up? Because it's hidden somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it kind of can go in the. I mean, the thing is, we have our stash in the dungeon, but that doesn't really do anything because your stash is always available anyway, so it doesn't really gain you much, does it?
You should spend it
Which
on
one
something. Use it. Downtime's coming up. Buy yourself a nice prison.
Yeah.
If you want, yeah, I'll
Yeah, that's
happily let
true.
you use it in this downtime. That's fine by me. Yeah, that you could,
Cool.
for example, use it to look at getting minions or use it to put into something else. You can get an extra downtime action with the gold. So yeah, I'll let you do that.
Buy yourself a nice prison there, like you always wanted.
As a treat.
As a
It's a little treat.
Everyone wants a nice little present. Okay, so we've done counting loot. So we didn't have any failures, so we didn't have any overdoing the revelries, which is nice. You can't loot your star because you sent me according to result, yeah. Okay, dungeon tier increase. We haven't done that. Discovery rolls. So, wait, no, I think that only comes with a dungeon tier increase. Yeah, that's right. You get like new discoveries when you build your dungeon bigger. So now we're into full downtime. So, does anyone have a specific project they have in mind to start us off with for downtime actions?
I have 2 out of 4 ticks on my clock for the great enchantment on the mysterious umbrella stand known as Galbatrod Noginiix.
Absolutely magic. I love how weirdly meta this is for Osric's total disdain of the circumstances of that raid, and now you're doing this to him. Yes. So go ahead, I guess, make your roll to see if you can complete your ritual.
So this is a ritual. It's an evoke. I can actually get my minions to do it for free, but I think, given how are my minions actually doing? I don't think they're doing much in the way of invoke. Oh, but they do have points. And no, I'm going to do it myself. It's 2 dice. I do have 2 dark hearts. Yeah, this is important. I'm going to spend the dark heart. Completing this enchantment is vital. And that is a 6 and a 1, but the 6 counts.
A 6 is 2 successes. Excellent.
The enchantment is complete.
Can I have just a wee description from you about kind of, maybe not what the enchantment will exactly do, but kind of the process of completing the enchantment? I really want Osric to just wander by while this is finishing, but he doesn't have to.
Yeah, this has been a matter of probably weeks now. At least one corner of the library near where all of the defaced symbols of various holy entities that Beepo has looted over the period, and the umbrella stand is in the center with just like string and wire and lines and chalk markings and profane symbols kind of around it, and Beepo and the other kobolds are almost more scientists than ritualists, going around and making changes and comparing notes. And maybe like if the prisoner is there, Beepo will be like explaining things to her, just like
she can't understand the words you're saying.
She can't understand the word, but it's adorable. And a little bit threatening as well.
Oh yeah, definitely threatening.
But then at some point, all of the stuff is cleared away, and there is nothing but the umbrella stand.
Amazing. Is there anything different about it after the ritual, or does it look exactly as it did, other than the bits of wire and stuff you've been putting on it?
The umbrella stand, the key of the umbrella stand is that it's basically an enchantment of confusion. It will make you either think it is, if a party of 2 people goes towards it, one person will think it is incredibly magical and one person will think it's completely useless.
I like that.
So it is a distraction.
That's very Malawa as well. That's very, what is the truth in this circumstance? Perfect. I love it. Okay. I'm almost tempted to give you a dark heart because I really like that thematically, because that's something you've come up with. That's not something.
It's also really good because it ties exactly into how because if anyone wasn't here for the earlier sessions, Osric got on Beepo's nerves a bit, so Beepo kind of cursed them by informing him that there was a secret hidden magical artifact in the wizard's temple that was completely normal looking, and they eventually dragged out this completely benign umbrella stand, which is now no longer a completely benign stand. So it's a double meta deconstruction of the very concept of magic.
Oh my gosh. Okay, give it a cool name, the umbrella stand of something, and you've got yourself a dark card.
I have the name written down. It is unpronounceable.
Oh, yeah. That was
Galbatarok Niliget.
You're a monster, and I love it.
I love this game. Never let it stop.
Yeah. What does Beepo do with it after this point, by the way? Did you like show it off to the other characters, or do you just calmly put it somewhere in the dungeon and not mention it? What is...
Beepo will 100% be showing it off. What Beepo will not be doing is explaining it.
And presumably, because this is something that is definitely valid in this world as well. It works on everyone. It doesn't just work on people of the light, for example. Okay.
So
I'm going to roll.
It's going to be the centerpiece. It is going to be the centerpiece of a new trap in the hallway to kind of slow down ingressors.
I love you test it on your kobolds once it's done, and like fully about half of them are just like, and the other half are just like, and are just obsessed with it and won't leave it alone. I'm going to roll a random dice for when each of you see it. Okay, Slee, it's an umbrella stand. It's manky, and why would anyone be interested in it?
It's always just been an umbrella stand.
Exactly. Osric, guess what?
I already knew it. I already knew what was happening.
It was a 50-50, and yeah, it's
100% chance. We all knew it.
It is okay. It didn't used to be like this, but whatever Beepo has done to it, they genuinely have infused it with just unbelievable power. You probably see it as some sort of necromantic icon, like souls are drawn towards it from the netherworld or something like that. You can absolutely take this with skepticism. You don't have to take it at face value, but that's what you immediately perceive it as. I would love for Slee to be in this scene as well.
Beepo about this.
Yeah, this is probably Beepo's action right now.
What have you done to this? What have you done?
I've done nothing. You discovered it. You brought it here. It is great. It is hallowed. The Galbatornorix.
It's an umbrella stand.
A great service you have done to Malawi. A great service you have done to us all. This land will cower.
You've done something to this, Beepo. This was not like this before.
No. You did something to it by bringing it to us. The world will burn before its glory. Also, you can store umbrellas in it. It's brilliant.
I don't understand. Did they clean it?
I was right all along.
Did they paint it?
I knew my sense.
No painting, just power, just power.
I knew my sense for magic could not be misguided. I knew it. Just as I suspected from the beginning. Of course it's the most powerful item in that cursed tower. Well done, Beepo.
Yeah, of course. It's very powerful. We'll stick it by the door, I guess.
It's worth saying, Slee, like, you're not into magic and stuff, but you can tell when something's got creepy, weird energy to it.
It's an umbrella stand. I'm going to look in it.
Careful, Steve. Who knows what energies you could unleash just by standing nearby.
One of the kobolds like puts an umbrella in it. It's not really an umbrella. It's actually just like a stick with like a leaf and like a few leaves twirled around the end of it to make it look like an umbrella. And looks up at you like, hey.
People nods sagely.
Yeah.
Help me drag it in front of the door.
Osric will reverently help to pick up this umbrella.
This is amazing. Excellent. I would love to get the name of this umbrella stand down in writing for my sheet, just so I can attempt to say it as well. That sounds fun.
Copy and paste it into the channel. spent literally minutes throwing together syllables that should never be put together under any circumstances.
If it's
I've outdone myself.
if it's intended to basically remain in that location, it can become a trick, because in effect that's what you've created by doing this. Probably tier 2 because it was a tier 2 ritual. That seems only fair. I don't see any reason why you can't turn a ritual into a trick in that context. So, but if you want to do something else with it, then it's not going to be that. But for now,
No, 100%. That's the goal. It's to be a trap. It's to go in front of the door into the library to further slow and bemuse people.
Perfect. Okay, I will add that there and trick. That name is amazing. Actually, should we bring up the map for a bit? It's always nice, and then we can have a wee chat about other people's downtimes as well. Of the library. So you were thinking to the left of that door?
Yep, just to the left of the door.
Cool, sounds good. I should write tier 2 and we'll remember what else it does just fine. Cool. I'm looking forward to you narrating the effect of that on people. Okay, other downtimes. Now, John, are you planning on doing a double downtime? Spending your gold to get a second action?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, then you
I
go
think
first. If you've got one.
also, because I didn't realize that you count both die separately, I actually got 2 mixed. So I only had enough room for 1 gold, so I'll do a revelry with my second mix.
Sorry, no, you don't count dice separately. So it's like if you get the highest you have is a 4, it will be a mix. The only reason I gave Sam something special was because he had a critical success and another 6, which I felt was pretty exceptional. So Chris also only got a mix despite having multiple 4s or something.
In the loot roll section, each die rolled gives something based on its results.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then you can combine 2 successes to a critical.
Still getting this wrong. Gosh, we've done this so many times and still getting it wrong. My apologies. Thank you for catching me out. Does that change other people's rolls as well then? Because Sam, you would have had a critical and a success.
Yeah,
from
and
that,
a failure.
And oh yeah, and a dark
failure
heart,
does give you something.
It gives you a dark heart, yeah.
Yeah. Or give morale to your minion pack.
Does it give morale? They don't have any of this on the cheat sheet, do they?
Oh, okay. If I can give morale, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, so you've got a morale, and then if you're happy to still roll those 3 successes into your choosing, Sam, I think that seems fair.
Okay, that's cool.
Have you chosen something, by the way?
There's some really fun items I've got. I can't decide. There's the Mind Distillery, drains memories from people's minds but makes them go insane in the process.
Oh my god.
Fun.
Keep that away from us. We know what you're like.
The Soul Flask, which seems good for Osric, can hold a single soul for transport, but the soul will rattle the flask at the worst moment.
That does sound very thematic. I love it.
Maybe that one, but I'm having a look. There's a lot to look.
I could see there being a lot of narrative fun with how you use that soul as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll leave it open for you. I don't want to decide for you. What about Chris? Did you just get a mixed and 2 fails on your roll? You had 4 dice, didn't you? Sorry.
Yeah, I rolled a 4 dice and I got 2 mixeds and 2 fails.
Okay, so you get 2 gold and then you get 2 dark hearts / morale for your minions.
So I'll give a morale to my minions and I'll get my dark heart back from that ritual, I think.
Very nice. Yep, very nice. And John, what did you get for your 2 then?
I got double mixed, so I got 1 gold and 1 dark heart.
Perfect. Oh, you could choose to take 1 lower if you want. You don't have to take the top one.
It's the thing. Where is it? A mixed, you gain 1 gold or you spend it on revelry.
Got it.
And revelry gets you a dark heart.
You can choose. Got it. That makes sense.
So I think you can choose to spend it on revelry, but you don't have to overdo it. That's the advantage that the mix gets.
Gotcha. So that's worth reflecting for other people. If other people want dark hearts back, they can spend gold on revelry in this context as well, if they got mixed. Okay, so you're going to take 2 actions with that gold you had spare then, John. So do you want to do your first action if you got it in mind what that is?
Yeah, I think my first action will be starting to build a prison.
Perfect. That sounds
and
logical.
I think I'm going to build it somewhere in these twisty tunnels right around here. so
That
that
sounds super
escaping
horrific.
people like get lost.
Sounds good to me. So, a prison is tier 2, so that's going to effectively require a 4-tick clock to complete. Or is it a 2-tick clock? I always forget.
4-tick.
It is a 4-tick, thank you.
No, that was the question.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
I think it is a 4-tick because your ritual was a 4-tick, wasn't it, Chris? And it's the same level for everything.
No, his ritual was a 6.
Oh.
No, the ritual was.
I think it
Anyway,
was
I'm thinking of sending some kobolds to help.
Good stuff. Let me get to the room section. I'm sorry, folks. We've been playing this a while, but it's a big.
There's just a lot. What
Sitting near
I think
everything.
I think I've discovered the thing is like there's a lot of like counters with small numbers of items in them, like gold and dark hearts and stuff, and they all do something a little different. So there's a lot of things to remember, but it's just so much fun. I can't hold anything against.
It is. It really is. I'm just conscious that people are seeing us going. And
I mean, it is a Forged in the Dark game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true. Okay. Here we go. I'm in the right section now. So, 2 rooms. No. There we go. Okay. So, tier 1. Some feature point. Why does it not say how tier 2? Well, I'm pretty sure a tier 2 is a 4-tick, but I might be wrong.
I think that was a tier 2 ritual, though. So
I think they're all the same. The tiers.
All I can see is an example for a tier 2 trap, which says it's 4 ticks.
Yeah, no,
But
they're all the
I
same.
can't see the bit where it actually says that it's 4
No, that's
ticks.
fine. The tier system in this game is flat. So if it's a tier for something, it's the same tier for everything. So that's fine. I'm happy with that. So prison will be 4 ticks then. So a critical is 3, a success is 2, a mix is 1, and a failure is none. So it's probably going to have to be. I mean, you could make the case. What are you doing? Are you doing it yourself? Are you ordering the minions around to do it? Are you trying to trick someone into doing it? Well, what do you want to? How are you going about building a prison?
I think I might try and trick Slitherax into burrowing out the earth for us.
Yeah, I like that idea. Okay. What skill are you looking to roll?
Trick.
Yeah, go on. I like that. That's fun.
That's just a 2.
If you're totally, I will I'll say this. If you totally fail, there might be a small consequence.
That's fine. I'll roll a dark heart to make sure.
Yeah.
Or hang on, there's a section here that I can just straight up spend gold to do something.
I think you could just get
Good
ticks
luck
for gold,
finding
can't
out
you?
what.
Oh god, it's right here. The project tiers and clocks. Yes, I found it finally.
Is it gold? You can spend gold to get your minions to do it.
You can spend gold to get your minions to do something. You spend gold to get extra actions. You can also spend gold just to get clock ticks if you want.
Oh.
If you're struggling to get the rolls. But it's only 1 gold per tick, so.
Also says gold can be used to accomplish many of the things you can do with downtime projects without putting forth any effort.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you could tick clocks, you can get whole extra actions, or you can pay minions to do things. I think that's the 3 ways of doing it.
Okay. Okay, I will just roll. That is a 6, so success.
Excellent. So I am going to give you an extra success for the ingenuity of using Slitherax, because a failure was going to give you significant negatives. Namely, Slitherax might attack you, but it's fine. You succeed at slicking. How do you trick Slitherax into doing this? Presumably, you're not saying, "Please dig this prison." What is the trick? Out of curiosity.
I will tell him that I think I heard something delicious sounding in the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Like the bats that he likes, but like better and maybe
Mhm.
bigger.
Like giant,
And they're
delicious
just
bats.
through this wall right
And
here.
see that little crack up there, that little crack down there, or maybe it was that crack over there, sort of thing.
I'm sure I can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
We've got very good ears.
You must just have
our
missed
people.
it.
You know,
that time.
snakes.
Well known for their good hearing.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Okay, so you get 3 of 4 ticks on the building of a prison. Did someone else say they were going to help with that? Did you say your kobolds?
Well, I think it's finished now, so it's almost irrelevant. But I'm
One
thinking
more.
of it needs one more.
Mm-hmm.
Go on then.
Twist your arm.
I'll
I also want
spend
to
a gold and
I can't remember if we've had it last time, but the imps also just randomly do stuff on their own as well.
Mm-hmm. They do. I'm going to roll that.
Cool.
We did have it last time, I think. Did we have it
Cool.
last time?
Good.
I'll double check. So, did you say you're going to roll for your kobolds? What are you using?
yeah, no, I think yeah, because my downtime action was the ritual. Their downtime action is just brute force. They're just going to go in and carry rocks out. Maybe they'll dump them in the river or something.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
2 dice. That's a mix. The 5 and a 5.
That's what we need. Perfect. So the prison is completed. I'd like to point out, with no actual prison construction, with just moving of rocks, but I like to imagine that in the process of moving rocks, they've managed to somehow build like piles of rocks that are not easily movable, that just basically make it impossible for someone to get out without help. This is a really gnarly prison. It's not like bars and stuff. It's just basically piled in a tumbled rock fall.
It's just a series of pits that they can't climb out of.
Okay, so now is when I think now we've done the prisoners. Now is a good time to make this roll. So your captive will have a chance of escaping. However, there was no blowback to allow her an opportunity out, and you have built a prison, and you haven't really left the dungeon otherwise. So I think only on a 6 is she going to be able to escape. And every other roll this die, she's staying. So there's only a 1 in 6 chance. It's a 1. So she has not escaped. And she is in the prison. She is secure outside of a raid breaking into your dungeon and breaking her out. Yeah, she's obviously not having a good time. She was basically chained up in the library for all this other stuff, and your madness with the with the umbrella stand. What does she think of the umbrella stand?
Yeah.
She's just looking at you all like you're mad.
Yeah.
yeah. Slee's like, yeah, see.
I feel like there is a moment that transcends Dark and Light Tongue where Osric and Beepo are fawning over this umbrella stand, and Slee and the captive just exchange looks with each other.
Love it. But yeah, she's dragged off. It's fair to say, kicking and screaming into the dark, like damp hollow in the rock that is this prison. I don't think she's screaming anymore. It's more just kind of occasionally wailing coming from down that tunnel. It's quite a pleasant sound to your wicked one's ears, really. But she ain't getting out anytime soon. Maybe occasionally you throw her the odd bit of, maybe Slee throws the odd bit of hopefully not too rotten meat in there or something. She'll sort herself out. I'm assuming no one else really talks to her very much, given you don't none of you speak the light tongue, and you're probably just ignoring her mostly otherwise, right?
I was actually thinking of spending my downtime seeing if, in combination with the body snatcher, we can interrogate her.
Go for it then. I like that idea. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I was about to ask your downtime action, so that solved that problem. Yeah, downtime, because the body snatcher is, of course, human, and for a given definition of human, and speaks the light tongue just fine. So yeah, I'm happy for him to be your interpreter. How are you approaching this then? Say she's been in there for a day or two after the prison's been made. No one's really gone to see her. Maybe the kobolds occasionally have just got to gawk at her.
I think the plan would be to send in the body snatcher alone, hoping there's some kind of like bars or something on the prison so that Osric can be outside.
Yeah.
And Osric is gonna cast spells, enchantment spells, to basically like mess with her mind and like get her to talk is the idea. Get her to try and trust the body snatcher, and then he's gonna ask questions about what she knows about the barony, about Riverton, about the Duke. And I mean that's gonna be the plan.
Okay, gotcha. So this would be easier if you had a kind of the body snatcher is playing this character. So is the body snatcher pretending to be a rescuer, or is the body snatcher pretending to be someone she knows or something? What's the kind of, what are you trying to manipulate her into thinking?
I think I might discuss this with the party if they're around.
Yeah.
Just to be like, what do we want her to think has happened here? Do we want her to think that we're Riverton? Do we not care what she thinks? Do we want her to think that we're some other group of people?
I think going for the Riverton gambit makes the most sense.
Okay. Yeah.
For a minute, I thought you were going to start playing bad cop, worse cop there, and I was going to cheer you on, but this is also good.
Unfortunately, I don't speak the light tongue. Otherwise, that could be fun. But...
Yes.
Can we get the grave robber, the body snatcher, tabard?
Only one of the kobold ones.
You get the body snatcher tabard.
Kobold.
It's just like there. around his neck. No, I'm happy for you just to say you've got like a decent looking tabard for the body snatcher.
Nice.
He doesn't look like a guard, but you know, it's probably a helmet you can put on, and if he doesn't look too
dungeon
intense.
Master.
Maybe he looks quite dungeon mastery. To be fair, he's got that kind of haggard. I haven't been out in the sunshine for 3 weeks. Look to him, so.
Yeah. Okay. So he's gonna go. I think he's gonna ask her like, I don't even know, because we don't really have any information about anything other than like there's a Duke. He's kind of ill. I guess he would ask stuff to do with like, what are your intentions towards Riverton? Like, what do you know about the Duke? What do you know about Riverton? What kind of forces do you have in the barony? Like that sort of stuff.
So trying to pretend that he's a proper interrogator from Riverton, trying to get information out of it. Would it be helpful to bring the map up for this moment so you can just see the factories as well? Yeah, sounds good. Okay, I like that. Yeah. You know, are you gonna try and cast her thing before he's even got in there to talk to her, or is he gonna try and trick her first?
I think I don't trust the body snatcher to do anything. He's trash. I'm definitely gonna cast an enchantment spell. I feel like I'm in the dungeon. I should have some good, powerful.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, this would only be a tier 1 to persuade us slightly of this, and to be honest, I think your circumstances you already have a bonus to, so take a. Shouldn't you just give bonus dice as a plus effect?
Okay. In that case, I'll use my invoke.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. That is a mixed 2 5s and a 1.
Yeah, that will be good enough for this, but I think you know that this will not last long.
Okay.
So the body snatcher walks in. He's got this like silly walk. You know, he's like trying to. Or normally like stoops right over, and he's like trying to like stand up and be like walking like a guard. And he like bangs on the stonework nearby and just goes, "You, what do you know about Riverton?" And she's just kind of huddled up, not really wanting to speak. And then I think the enchantment washes over a bit and just goes, "Riverton? Why am I here? Why did you take me?" I think the body snatcher looks back at you and goes,
I'll be like, "We're from Riverton. We know about your evil plans."
"No, I know about your evil plans. You're in the dungeons in Riverton. You ne'er-do-well." And she just looks up at him like totally clueless and she goes, "Evil plan? What are you talking about?" And then I think he looks back to you again.
You've been not paying taxes or something. You're a human. Talk human to her.
And then he looks back to her and goes, "You and your lack of tax paying, and you didn't let our guards have a nice meal last time they came. That's very rude." And she does. At least she doesn't have anything to offer here. She just continues to look at him cluelessly, not really sure what to say. I think after she's silent for a moment, he'll look back at you and be like,
"Okay, ask about the barony. What kind of soldiers they have? Does she know any secrets? I don't know. Information.
Okay. I'll do you a deal. I'll let you out of here if you tell me about what sort of guards are on the wall and what secret plans your family might have." And she just goes, "Okay. Why do you want to?" And then I think maybe your enchantment, because you're kind of trying to influence the mind of it, washes over her. And she just goes, and then she offers up, like, there's, say, 15 guards at the barony in total, some of which have been recruited recently. They actually had less before that point. Some of them might be dead now too, to be fair. And she reveals that there was quite a rivalry between Riverton and the barony. I think Riverton's kind of a new up-and-coming sort of town in the scheme of things, whereas the barony's been here a long time, and they're trying to stop Riverton trading down river. But recently, down the road, I should say, but recently the river's been opened up to them. So the barony are losing out. Also, there was something real scary that came from the woods of late, and the barony weren't able to take their taxes from Starvington anymore. That's the immediate information you get.
Okay. Interesting.
She just continues to whimper, just like, "Why do you want? What if I haven't done anything to you?"
I think the last thing I would try and get the body snatcher to ask is has there been any like local news about us in the dungeon, or not? Like any weird creatures seen, any like kind of horrible magic known about? Have the shitty wizards said anything?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so the body snatcher will turn around and go, "And you don't know of any other like bad things going on around, do you?" And I think she will genuinely not have any idea what he's talking about. She will not give you any clue that she knows that you exist.
And then pleased but insulted.
I think the body snatcher will turn to you and go, "Hey boss, are we trying to persuade her that I'm evil and bad and Riverton did all this to her for bad things, right?"
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'll just the body snatcher will go up and just club her across the head and just go like, "Yeah, I'm not letting you out now because I'm a terrible, bad overlord, and Riverton is not going to do what you want, and we're going to keep you here forever suffering." And then he turns around and walks out and goes,
Nice job.
She's like crying now, just in the corner, curled up. I mean, to us, it's not a nice sight. To Osric, it's probably quite satisfying.
Yeah, fantastic work, buddy Snapchat. Best you've ever done. Well done. She seems convinced this plan is working flawlessly, and you're a key part of it.
Poor young woman. Oh, yeah. So I think you've done a pretty good job persuading to get you when you wanted there. Got some maybe useful information out of that. I'm going to note down kind of persuaded Riverton did this. Cool. Okay, I think we have.
So, can I spend gold for an extra downtime action?
You can, yeah.
Right. So I think I'm going to do this because it's fun. I'm going to bankrupt myself. I'm going down to 0 gold. And I'm basically going to use my extra downtime action to invoke my free zealots downtime action, where my minions can do. No, if I can do it, then Beepo's going to do it because this is important. Beepo's going to go over maybe a day or two and just go and sit on the lip of the pit and just kind of talk at the young lady. And she can't understand a word that they're saying. But what Beepo's going to do is basically do a little kind of level 1 ritual. Again, slightly futzing with her mind, and she's just going to go understanding that when she will know that she's going to get out of here absolutely fine, but she believes in the primacy of Malawi now.
I love it. Okay, is that an ultimate? You have to roll for that, correct?
Yeah, that's definitely an invoke. Yeah.
Go for it. And this is you doing it, or your minions doing it? Did you say?
I think this is me doing it because I've got the better invoke.
I love the idea that you're actually basically like, providing a sermon to her at this point.
I think it's more kind of like, dangling with kind of kicking my feet off the side of the thing, dangling my feet over the edge, being adorable, but also ruining, being quite psychologically terrifying.
I think the longer that this passes on, the like she goes from not paying any attention to you whatsoever. That's a 6 in there, right?
There is a 6 in there. Yep.
She goes from not paying any attention to you whatsoever to slowly looking more and more at you. I want you to describe the gradual process of her kind of, realizing that there is actually a god of mystery and truth and lies and secrets
knowledge
out there.
and secret. I think honestly, like this change is so subtle and so fundamental that no one's going to detect that she's been brainwashed because she hasn't. She's been convinced.
Yeah.
And it's just she now leaves a follower of Malawi. Maybe she doesn't quite have the words to describe it like that, but the groundwork has been laid. And when she goes back to that priest who I also fuddled the head with in the encampment, if she gets back there,
I've noticed
something interesting might happen.
Yeah. So this is in comparison with what you did to him, which was effectively mind-blown total conversion. This is more a subtle seeping in of belief. So she's not
laying the foundations.
Exactly. She's not going to suddenly prostrate herself in Malawi. She might still have another faith in there, but it's safe to say this has definitely invaded her head. But you don't really get any obvious recognition of it other than the fact she seems to be paying a bit more attention to you by the time you finished your sort of sermon thing. You know what you've done.
I know what I've done.
It's worth saying.
I'm convinced. Thank you. I know we don't generally throw up stuff in the middle of the session, but Casey came up with the term brain convinced.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think quite a lot of your minions, your kobolds, probably come and just perch themselves around you while you're doing this as well and just listen intently quite happily.
Anyone kind of walking past, kind of who does know the dark speech, people is talking nonsense. Like none of these words make any sense.
And it's just beautiful to everyone who knows. I love how there's like a winding, narrow tunnel, so it's probably like you can't see Beepo. You can just hear the echoing nonsense words coming from down in the prison when you're working in the library or something.
I think this pushes even the moral boundaries of Osric. Having just seen this prisoner like clubbed in the head, he's like, Beepo, this is going too far.
What I did was just fine, but this is. I mean, Beepo's saving her as far as he's aware.
Saved from ignorance.
Exactly.
Saved from the tyranny of the gift of knowledge.
John, so you had one more downtime as well, correct?
I do. I am thinking about what I want to do. So I usually use my downtime actions to do something to the dungeon. And there is something I would like to do to the dungeon, but I don't know. I'm wondering whether Slee just wants to go for a walk.
I mean, with purpose, that's fine. We could have like a let's have a walk where something happens sort of thing. So it functions as a downtime action. I'm happy with that.
Let me look at my character sheet and ponder briefly.
While you're rummaging with that, I will say I decided on my next purchase, given I did a level up there. I have picked up Defiler, which means I get a 4-segment clock, and I get to tickets each time I defile something sacred or beautiful that is antithetical to my god's domains.
Amazing.
And actually, I think I get a tick in there for messing with their head a little.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what? I'm just gonna go. There's an upgrade I want to make to the dungeon. I want to add another minion lair.
Ah, yes, that does make a lot of sense.
Because Osric has his very useless body snatcher, and Beepo has their horde of kobolds. You know what? I want someone to boss around as well. So
these imps are just not satisfying to boss. They don't really, they just
No.
kick them rather than doing something.
And they're always so happy to do whatever it is you tell them to do. Eventually, after you've thrown them against the wall a couple of times, maybe. So I'm going to do another minion lair here.
You want someone you can order around who doesn't like being beaten. It's just, it doesn't feel right with these minions.
I think I want someone who can argue back.
Yeah, exactly.
And won't, but can.
Yeah, not like Beepo and Osric who will argue back. You want them to know that they could, but also not out of fear.
The minions are fine. Yeah. They're just too moist.
They are very moist and very bitey. And I feel like Slee's probably done the experiment of trying to take one of the imps with us on a raid or something to set them on someone, and they don't. I don't know if they just deflate as soon as you take them.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining. So when they leave the dungeon, they just don't have enough moisture, and they actually just wrinkle up and crinkle and just shrivel into just little crisps.
But they come back when you put them back in water. Yeah.
I mean, if you do, yeah.
They're like the expanding the pills that you put in the water, and then you get dinosaur sponges.
Precisely.
I think after Osric's thing in the dungeon with the Grave Snatcher, I think we've transitioned from a Muppets Christmas dungeon to Faulty Towers.
Okay.
So that is another tier 2 room.
Yes, it's tier 2 has now just got to that, so that's going to be another 4-tick clock to get that minion lair done.
I don't think I can get Slither-X to fall for that again.
No, I think Slither-X is a bit mad at you, to be honest.
I got one success. Can we say that he found a bat? Found something delicious?
I mean, the thing is, it was a trick. Okay, I'll roll randomly to see if there was actually a bat there, because that doesn't seem like you didn't know this when you did your trick. You could succeed really well at tricking, but it doesn't change the likelihood of there actually being a bat in there.
But if there's one random cavern full of bats somewhere.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a third chance. Okay. There was not a bat.
No.
You just need to be like, you didn't go deep enough. The bat's further down the hole.
Exactly. It doesn't blame you. It's just a bit mad.
Either way, I'm going to try and finesse this.
Okay, sounds good. So that is a 4-tick clock. Go ahead and make your roll.
Oh, no. Where did that go? I'll get that later. Success.
Nice job. So 2 of 4 ticks on that minion there.
Okay.
I will note that down as well, just so we've got a record.
Let's figure out what we're doing with the gem chamber as well. We've kind of left that half explored.
I know, that's a cool thing. Well, to be fair, it's does it do a trick or anything? Is it just, I feel like it had a purpose. It actually did something.
I think it randomly appeared.
No, I think it actually does something, like it dazzles or something. Oh, I remember what it does. It's so bright that if it kind of is like a trick, but it's basically like it will dazzle people when they're in the dungeon because it's so bright that they lose their night vision. That's what effect it will have. I don't think anyone's got back there. But to be fair, when we up the tier again of your dungeon, we'll get to just shake everything around because, permanent matter isn't permanent in this world, I guess.
Or you could say it doesn't matter.
Because it doesn't matter. exactly. What's the excellent Simpsons quote from the pre-Simpsons, where before it was even Simpsons? What is mind? Never matter.
What
And
is
then
matter?
what is
Never
matter?
mind.
Never mind.
Oh God, no!
Ah,
The dungeon is gone.
my dungeon has been flooded with blood.
I was gonna say it was very
Not
sinister.
again.
Not
Let's
again.
do that.
No. That's odd. The blood usually gets off at the second floor. No, not minion downtime. Imp downtime. There we go. Here we go.
Yeah,
So,
up to.
imp downtime. The imps roll the dungeon tier. So I'm assuming, that's just succeed at a thing. So what are they going to try and do in a dungeon? What do the imps want? I think the imps might try and make a trap. That sounds fun. Well, it depends how much they succeed. If they fail entirely, they might just make something useless for you, because I feel like they're trying to do something. Okay, they got a mix. So they're not going to build a trap. They're just going to build you another tunnel. But I will let you choose where you want the tunnel, even though it's not that helpful. Even though the tunnel can be moved. Ugh.
How about I roll a d6 and we split the map into sextants? I don't know what quadrants but sixes. I used to, but
No, I didn't know the word for that. I mean, sextant is that weird naval navigation thing, so it's definitely not
yeah.
that.
Anyway, it's a 2, which
Would be that top bit.
this bit.
So off the top of the top minion layer?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, sounds good. I guess you can kind of be inspired by this for where the dungeon might go next.
Cool. Oh,
Good.
that's off screen.
So that's all right. So the imps just really go at the body snatchers minion layer. They just seem to really be passionate about Northwoods for some reason. You don't know why. They're really just interested in it. And before you know it, they've gone 30 meters down a tunnel. It doesn't seem to serve any purpose. Eventually, they get tired and stop. That's just what they felt like doing. So I think, is that all of everyone's downtimes?
I think so, yeah.
So, calamity time. So, calamity is a consequence that your dungeon suffers, caused by not following dungeon logic. It can be something that is immediately accepted and resolved, or you can jump into the scene to try and deal with it. So, after the raid, judge, review dungeon logic. So, does the layout feel like a dungeon, and do your minions enjoy living in it? Does it make sense as a dungeon? I think it probably does. Go on.
Yeah, I think we've definitely taken steps to correct that with putting the cursed umbrella stand in front of the door now, so it's not just a straight path into what is effectively Dungeon Heart. I would like to spend that 2-dot door is basically a level 2 door, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think at some point we should maybe clarify that level 2 is maybe a disguise or a trick, so that it's at least kind of obfuscated that it's a door.
I think as it is, it's currently a lock, but we can put a trick on top of it.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
think
Or
that's
you could
our
even put
next-
something else in front of it, so you have multiple layers.
Yeah, if we
Yeah.
put like something here instead
Mhm.
of replacing this trick
'Cause
here.
technically, you already have that trick as well. So yeah, you've got like something to stop people going to the door, and then, and often NPCs just go, door will go the other way. You actually got unlucky with the last one because they were basically a pick lock character, so they don't bother with doors in that way. Most characters will go, oh, there's a door, I'll just go the other way if there's a free route. Okay, so I think that's you're good on that one. Growth. Has the dungeon been steadily growing? Well, you've added rooms.
Oh,
so.
yes.
Mm-hmm. The only thing is the dungeon hasn't gone up, but I don't think you're behind times on that. I think you're in the middle of a pillage too, so if you don't get a tier up in a wee while, maybe, but at the moment you're all good.
Yeah, once we
Hierarchy.
cash in our hostage, I think we go up a level, don't we?
Yeah. Hierarchy. So this one's a bit funky because your sanctum is kind of alongside the minion layers rather than behind them. So it's supposed to be that, the sanctum should be the last place they come to always. But you do have a secret tunnel to the sanctum, which kind of does hierarchy up to me. Loot. There's been some looting. It's good stuff. Have you formalized, and are the masters worthy? Have you formalized a solid master plan? Garnered a reputation for evil. I think you're doing pretty evil.
Doing pretty well, yeah. Still keeping a low profile, though.
Yeah. I don't know about that. Relatively low profile.
The prisoner had never heard of us, Sam.
Yeah, she's never heard of us. Not a household name if the prison doesn't know about us.
And she still hasn't.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I think now the question is it as a usual grumbling or are they not at all grumbling? So I feel like most of those are pretty good. So I might even give you a 3 dice roll for this calamity because things feel pretty alright at the moment. I think. I guess this is ultimately my decision, so I don't.
Well, my minions have a morale because I spent it on them. So
yeah, I think I'll give you a 3 dice. We'll get a couple. And that is a success. So minions gain morale and join the next raid for free.
Nice.
amazing. Oh, that's 0 punishment for Beepo now because I was concerned that I wouldn't be able to afford to bring the kobolds along next time, but now I can.
You are all good. Cool. So that is a downtime calamity. You got quiet this one, didn't you? You didn't have a blowback and didn't have a calamity. Lucky you folks. To be fair, I think you've had some fairly unlucky times previously. So particularly early on, actually. I remember the major one with we arrived in the valley and then you immediately got that vampire ultimatum, which was pretty harsh, to be fair. So I think that was a calamity as well.
Didn't work out too badly in the end.
Yeah.
Also, the Vampire Ultimatum are my favorite early 2000s goth band.
So I think basically it's a wee bit of a chat about what you think the next raid / the kind of sum up of this pillaging raid might look like now then between the characters.
So, kind of on the meta tier, I honestly think we should just release the prisoner, and the payout for the raid is going to be the fact that we release her in such a way that she thinks she escaped from Riverton, and then all the plan just all clicks into position, and then there's a conflict between Riverton and the Baroness, and and we gain a level because the Baroness loses one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems pretty fun. I like playing the long game sort of thing. So your raid would not be releasing the prisoner. Your raid would be down the line, maybe kind of even 2 scenes. One would be stoking the fire of conflict and the other one would be jumping in after the conflict has started sort of thing.
Yeah, because I think we have business in Riverton next, don't we? With all of these, all roads lead towards this Baron who's in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like that's the next raid.
I think it was a Duke, but yes.
Oh, the Duke, sorry.
It's all
good. I do like it. We could try and ransom her as though we are Riverton somehow. I don't know how that plan would exactly work. Feels like it has a high probability of blowing up in our face, but could be
yeah. The fact that it worked the first time is still a source of almost religious level disbelief for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say that.
For sure.
I'd say that plan is much more risky, but also much more guaranteed to get you great riches. You know, she's obviously pretty wealthy from a wealthy family, dressed well, probably got lots of money. Probably, you know, they'd pay all that money to get a member of the family back.
Now, what else do we have? We still need to figure out. We have yet to interact with the Dwarven Brewery,
and there was
or
talk
the Lemmings,
racing to the Duke as well.
And we need both for the master plan. So, on the other hand, maybe the next raid involves kind of starting to move things forward with maybe a trick raid on the Dwarven Brewery to start poisoning the mead.
Well, I think your next raid should probably, as in the one following, you mean? Or are you thinking now?
Yeah, maybe. It's just...
I think if you're going to use this, then I guess you could choose to keep her, actually. It would be interesting to separate out deliberately, but you kind of are on the peak now where they're going to start looking for her, and, you know, there's going to be this kind of conflict going on, trying to figure out what's going on. You know, if you leave that be, you'll lose your moment, whereas if you stoke the flames a bit and push it, you know.
Yeah, we kind of don't want to leave it to the point where the Baroness goes to Rivertown and goes, "Give me back my daughter," and the Rivertown goes, "What are you talking about?" Because that can make it harder to play them off each other.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly. And to be fair, it's a bit meta, but I feel like that would happen within days. But we can play it out that this raid can occur in that period of time, given the consecutiveness of these things happening.
We don't know 100% canonically that the Baroness actually likes her daughter.
This is true. But I mean, royals generally don't, just abandon their children entirely, even if they don't like them. It's kind of a matter of pride, right?
Should have got the body snatcher to ask, "Does your mum love you?"
Good God.
As it wasn't bad enough.
Yeah, so I like my evil scheme, but
the kind of long con,
kind of
perhaps
narratively
slightly less
meets-
money reward, but messing with the geopolitics a lot more play.
Yeah, I guess it's destabilizing everything around us so that we can loot them later.
That's the plan.
And it also gets us our systemic level up for the dungeon as well, which has kind of been on the back burner for a while.
So the plan will be a raid, I guess, to Riverton to release her there.
I get the impression there's kind of two phases of this, and we could play out in two phases. One would be kind of stoking the flames deliberately. So perhaps, what do you do with her? That's a good point. At what point is she actually released as part of this plan, Chris, do you think, if she is?
I'm
does she
just
end
of
up
the
dead?
impression that we blindfold her and release her back toward the Baroness, just kind of quiet like. And then what I think the raid should be, as because what we could do then is, obviously we have business in Riverton, but we could also kind of work on the other leg of the asymmetric part of this, where if we can implicate the Baroness's the inn and the Baroness to Riverton somehow, that would also be nice. Like, I don't know, because what we have learned now is that Riverton is more dependent on the boats. So maybe we do a raid where we just sink a bunch of boats and somehow frame the Baroness for that.
Because I think there's the thing to be said of, presumably the next thing that will happen in the world is Baroness will go, or people from the Baroness's inn will go to Riverton and try and find out what's happened with their daughter. Are you planning on interfering with that part? Are you planning on taking her there and somehow pretending that she's, kept by Riverton, or handing her over as if you are Riverton in that context, or doing something else with her?
Just having, like, literally just releasing her on the road, so before they get to Riverton, they just find her there. Her being convinced that the Riverton dungeon released her.
Perhaps you can try and persuade her more that, she managed a daring escape, or some guards helped her free, but Riverton as a whole is doing evil things or something.
Yeah.
What about the idea of just fully attacking the Baroness on her way to Riverton? Because we have some idea that she'll go there and may have loot, and then it might not help the conflict between Riverton and the Baroness. Well, in some ways it would, but just in the area, sowing this idea that Riverton is like going out and attacking other places might help generally destabilize the whole valley.
Oh, I've got a great idea as part of that. You could take like a token from this princess, like, something she has on a necklace or something, say, that would be distinctive to her, and like have that basically dumped to the Baroness with a message written in the light tongue that says it's from Riverton, saying, "We want to speak to you personally," to make sure that the Baroness goes, and then you have the chance to catch her on the road. That could be an idea.
But
take all that stuff.
Then what? Because we can kidnap the Baroness and then.
Well, we discussed this
and take all her stuff.
Basically, plunge the barony into ruin, and also implicate Riverton in it.
Yeah, because that's one of the raid types, isn't it? Is just annihilate.
Just annihilate. Yeah.
So
you've set up pretty well being able to annihilate by doing this. So I'd say you have a decent shot at it.
But again, it's not as long gamey as having these two light factions fight amongst themselves. I think that's
Yeah.
more politically wicked.
So you could persuade her to go to Riverton to have this talk, by perhaps having a token, and then leave them to it, or, as you say, fake some horrible thing that the Baroness has done to Riverton, so they won't talk to her.
I still think the princess goes back to the Baroness, and then we do something to do a reverse implication, because that kind of keeps things nice and neat. Doesn't require. So I think pretending that we're Riverton to kind of get deeper into this charade, like at some point we have to realize that we're not built for this. We don't really have. We're not very good. That we got away with it the last time is crazy good luck.
Yeah, it's true. But you do have the ability to brainwash her into thinking she was a Riverton, so you can leave her to give that impression. There is that side.
Yeah, that was kind of the hope.
But so basically, your choices are between a political long-term game that will not get you a tier up next raid, or pushing it for maybe going whole hog could destroy the Baroness and the Barony, definitely getting all your pillage, but not playing the long-term political game.
How old is this Baroness daughter that we have?
She's like 20.
An adult? Okay. I was thinking, what if we do, I think, Chris's plan of raiding a bunch of boats from Riverton, and then we somehow implicate that was the barony doing that, and then sell the daughter to Riverton as a hostage, saying, this will stop them raiding your boats because you have a hostage from them.
I think that plan's got legs. Those legs smell like money.
I see that. Okay, interesting play.
I feel like it's very convoluted and will almost certainly go horribly wrong, but it's a cool plan.
Oh gosh. There's still the wrinkle that the Baroness thinks that Riverton has her daughter,
which they would at some point.
So you're going to basically get them to buy the daughter off you before the Baroness goes to Riverton, so it ends up true.
Exactly. We need to get out, raid these boats right away.
The plan is basically to reverse kidnap her into Riverton. Got it.
Oh my god.
By them paying.
So much for keeping it simple.
I mean, I had an idea earlier before we went live of trying to convince Riverton that she was there was a bounty on her or something. But
yeah. But I mean, it does sound like a crazy fun idea for that. Just trying to get her in there. Okay, that sounds like it's everyone agrees this is a ridiculous idea, which we might try. So the vague plan is somehow whether it's by tricking Riverton into thinking the Baroness has done something awful and you want to take her hostage, or something else, get her into a jail in Riverton before the Baroness gets there, and then they actually have these problems with each other and actually go fighting. John, yeah?
I think this is the plan that maybe Slee, Beepo, and Osric come up with.
Yeah.
I don't want to put anything on the table for definite unless we are united.
This is mad rantings of
but this is definitely us three in the middle of the night going, what if we sell her to Riverton?
Exactly. It's getting very convoluted. I was trying to offer you an easy out with that. You could just destroy the Baroness, but no, we're going hard.
Nope.
Well, the thing is, I'm disincentivized to destroy the Baroness because obviously I've got that priest of Malawi and now the princess of Malawi. Or I'm gradually perverting that entire faction to be
perverting the world via this. That's true. Maybe they're even going to turn into a dark if you push this far enough. Wouldn't that be interesting? I like that. Okay. Well, on that on that subject, I'm not going to run the raid tonight because I want Steve for doing that, and also because it's getting to that sort of time of the session. So we've had a fun time ranting about what we might do. Who knows if this will actually materialize or not, as John says. But it's been entertaining thinking about it. But that was a lot of fun. A wee bit of downtime and other bits and bobs. So thank you very much, folks. Oh, should we do XP again? I guess we technically should, even though there was basically not much of anything XP worthy in that session.
Remind me, is it XP at the end of? If there's not that much to do, then we might as well do it, right?
Well, I was thinking, or we could just skip it. But I mean, because I was thinking I wouldn't say you built a bit of your dungeon, but I wouldn't say confidently. I guess you found out information, which is kind of building future plots. You probably would get that 1 XP for.
I'd say Beepo did something monstrous.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty monstrous, forcing your own religion to her head. I'd say Osric's was pretty monstrous too, actually. That was a pretty messed up sort of brain-bending.
Well, given that we haven't
interrogation.
kind of done a full raid's worth of work, how about we all just take 1 XP for doing a lot of good work in furthering the overall plan? Because I think everyone was working towards that.
Yeah, and I was also going to say, because Steve's not here, we'll save too much XP stuff. So let's just stick with 1, and I'll just give him an extra XP as well, and then we can properly do that next time, because it felt like kind of a half session for other bits and bobs anyway. So
Cool.
I love the name of your goal.
Think I might pass on the XP because I don't think I did all that much. I think Beepo and Osric. Well, I think Chris and Sam did more, so I'm happy to step out.
Yeah, I was going to give Steve one, even though it's fine.
You
Right? You can have an XP.
built a prison. That was without a prison.
Exactly. Yeah, without the prison, that dice roll would have been a lot worse. It would have been a 50-50. So
specifically without the 6 you rolled while building that prison. No, I think in you provided a great service to the dungeon, Slee. You provided a 6.
Keep those dice rolls up when you're allowed to stay. I love the name of your umbrella stand, Chris. It's so fun. Galbataroxygnix. Great. It's amazing.
I'm actually really looking forward to the next time we have to run the dungeon, because it's going to just be the closing of the cycle on this particular sub-bit plot.
I'm going to have to give one of the heroes an umbrella. It's going to happen.
It's bad weather around that dungeon. They need an umbrella to get here.
It's very true. Cool. I think that's more or less us, folks. So sorry for the slightly early finish, but we will be back for another horrific raid doing awful things to this. I'd say nice world. It's not really nice, but certainly less awful than before the Wicked Ones arrived in its world. So do we have any questions or comments or anything, John, before I do the sign-off stuff? We're quite quiet. There's not too many comments.
No,
I enjoyed your brain
I don't think
convince,
so.
Sam. That was good.
Yeah, there was that.
Brain convinced.
And in case anyone not in the Twitch chat wants the correct spelling,
I've just read it. I'm not saying it out loud again. If someone else would like to have a go at it,
Galbataroxygnix. Iginix? Is it a hard G or a soft G?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Malawi knows, and she will not tell you for free.
It changes. Whatever you say, it's always the wrong one.
It could even be silent.
Well, that's just madness.
It's actually like most letters in it are silent. It's just got about 4 letters you actually pronounce.
It's just pronounced Gargs.
In the dark tongue. None of us can speak the dark tongue, so it could be anything.
I thought you were supposed to. Oh, I see what you mean. We as people can't speak the dark tongue. Yeah, 42. The more cunning the plan, the better. I'm not sure if this is cunning or if this is just
complex,
completely
cunning
unnecessarily.
like a fox.
Yeah. It's just so
cunning
convoluted
like
now.
a 7-dimensional fox
that does not belong in this world.
We should just make the most complicated plan anyone could ever imagine, and then watch as like step 1 of our 15-step plan goes horribly wrong, and the rest of the plan goes out the window.
But it's great because if even the GM can't tell what we're doing, no one's gonna ever be able to get ahead of us and undermine us.
Yeah, that's a free XP. Sam, this was definitely part of our master plan. Can't you tell? There's only 22
Just
steps.
all of
This
you
was step
unite.
13.
behind the scene is just to confuse the hell out of me.
It's like,
I'm like,
this
you
is why
go
this-
to the next plot, and one of your enemies is standing there waiting for you, and it's like, how? How did they know? We didn't know we were doing this until 5 minutes ago.
How could they possibly have known? It's like
The
you're
best-
just like getting reams of paper on like cameras, but like, oh, here, look, right here.
I think like I love this game so much because it turns the chicken in a cage into the entire plot.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. Perfect example. The umbrella stand.
Commit
I
to the
feel like-
bit.
I feel like we've got a new chicken in a cage for our story now, which is the umbrella stand in the wizard's tower. It's just that.
I'm just waiting for
Oh,
Osric
I'm-
to go back for that flagstone.
Oh gosh.
Look,
Just
if we
thinking
found
about
the umbrella stand. Think of what other good stuff they got there.
laying down at the in bed at night and just thinking about the other things you might have missed.
Yeah, that was right in the doorway. Imagine what they've got at the top.
Mhm.
God.
Oh gosh. Cool. Are there any other names or anything to read out, John, or are we good?
Nope, it's all good.
Good. Perfect. I suppose it's not been long, has it? So yeah, we are Telling Tales. Check out the other bits and bobs we do. As mentioned, it will be me running Warhammer next Monday, Matt running Blade Runner next Wednesday. There will be a one shot at some point. Other bits and bobs. Wicked Ones will almost certainly return in 2 weeks. So yeah, come check that out. And other bits and bobs are on YouTube. Check us out on Twitch. Otherwise, someone outside has unbelievably squeaky brakes. My apologies. Yeah, check out our social media, Discord, Patreon. Support my patrons below. I think that's us. Take care, folks. See ya. Good night.